Hey everybody, welcome back once again to the PCS. We are marching on through the day. Some serious bangers, but up next here, we've got PSG Talent taking on Sem9. Before we get into that, well, their team just won, and they are, of course, still our sponsor, CTBC Bank, always by our side. Thank you very much for making the PCS possible. Now, Clement, PSG Talent versus Sem9, it is lopsided as far as the standings are concerned, but PSG did just lose yesterday, and Sem9 have been showing some improvement, so maybe it's closer than meets the eye. But a big story to cover, I think, is the fact that PSG could be our first team to lock playoffs with a win here today.
And we are going into this playoff angle a little bit differently from before. It's not at all surprising that PSG are going to go into playoffs. I don't think anyone is surprised about that, but it is a little bit later than usual because in the previous splits, PSG has gone 18-0 and 17-1. So if you take a lot of that,
it's their worst split ever.
Yeah, they're 9-2 right now, which is actually a little bit slower than what we expected out of them. They actually weren't 18-0 last split, excuse me, but they were very
17-1, I think. Yeah, they've looked incredible like over the last several splits, and they've been very, very hard to beat just in general. This split, they've looked a little more mortal. I think they're still working on some things, but this is still, make no mistake, an incredible roster. Hanabi smiles on that top side. Gori and Gori, their Korean imports, have played well, especially Gori in that mid lane. And then, of course, Unified and Kaiwing. I think that bottom lane is actually been where some of the struggles have been. I think, Unified, we're so used to him dominating every lane. I think it's been a bit more of a toss-up, and I wonder if it's because of the rising stars of the other bot lanes in the PCS.
It definitely could be. Now, to be fair, I don't think Unified has had a lot of standout international performances, and the reason is the opposition is just that much stronger. We have seen this split as well. Unified tries to go in, makes those do-or-die plays, but a lot of times he actually ends up on the losing side of those split-second mechanics. We'll have to see if he fares a lot better here against Ashing and Caspiel, which neither of them actually are AD carries.
No, they're not. I love the Caspiel. This is a team that swaps so many times and mostly kept to the core players. No Name, of course, up top, Arashi in the jungle, but they've mixed around with the mid, the bots. Asin, of course, a former coach, or still a coach, if you will, now in the bot lane position instead of the support or the mid. And Caspiel in support, where he has played a mean Nautilus. And I honestly think that might be the reason. He seems to be really good at getting those engages going.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of interesting picks coming in from this bottom side. The Nikos, the Scions. Basically, their motto is they want to get in onto your composition. They want to lock you down. And they like to play wombo combo and aggressive combos, which I think is the exact kryptonite to what PSG are afraid of.
Let's see if it works out for them. Now, comparing our head-to-heads to two very different junglers, and I feel they're very different situations. Like, Gori is a player that we haven't seen a ton of because his team does so much heavy lifting, he hasn't had to. Whereas Arashi, well, he's put several teams on his back, and I think these stats show why.
Buri's role is basically to pick Poppy or Xin Zhao and then keep everyone away from their carries. That is his sole function, I would say. And it's not a particularly taxing one. So I don't think we've seen the ceiling of Buri. For Arashi, his role is really different because, to be absolutely honest, most of Sem9 lanes do end up going negative. And what Arashi has to do is either pick up on those waves or try to farm himself up to be a legitimate carry. So, one is trying to keep their advantage, and the other is trying to find an advantage for himself.
Absolutely. Into picks and bans we go. Seraphine, Senna, both banned by PSG, and the Callista followed on the Sem9 side. So it's been all bot lane, although I guess you can consider the Senna mid pick as well.
Yeah, the Senna pick does enable a lot of tank shenanigans from coming out. You have a tank with a lot more money to spend, like the Scion. Like the, I think they might have even went for a Mundo once, but they go for these really weird picks, and the Senna's there, that champion gets a lot more gold than via frontline. So I think PSG very smart to take away those shenanigans.
Sem9, we normally talk about like the locks, the picks, everything like that. Sem9 are all smiles at the moment. I feel like they've got something a brewing here, Clement, as the Gnar gets banned away. That does make a lot of sense. Not only is it very popular, Hanabi is one of those players that always seems to make it work blind.
And we're actually going to see Gori Azir being left open here. This is pretty much Gori's best champion. Everyone likes to ban this. So, you know, I think Sem9, they're giving PSG some interesting trades offered right here. I think Shietudu could definitely play something like an Azir, just take it away. I wouldn't say it's his go-to champion. We're not really sure about his champion build because he's an 80 carry. But I'd be very surprised if Sem9 don't decide to take away the Azir in the first 2.
Yeah, I think if you're leading something like Azaria, you've got to at this point. First pick coming through, it's looking like a Viego here for Arashi. Oh, curious. Some of our questions are soon to be answered. Are they going to... Okay, are they really going to leave the Azir up? They got to be playing with us, right?
No way. And the Azir is so strong in the hands of Gori. You have to remember, this is the guy that has the most initiations, the most damage on his team, and the Gori special is just going into the backline, getting a triple swipe, and they're gonna give over the Azir. Okay,
all right.
I feel like this is it almost feels like walking into a trap for PSG, but if I'm PSG, I'm still locking it in.
I mean, you got it, right? Like, I mean, Gori, I think Gori is... Giving him some credit, he's played incredibly well on a number of champions, but the Azir has definitely been his signature pick. He looks so comfortable on it. He has big impact. I mean, they've given these both away, like a strong meta pick in the Zeri. The Azir comes up. I still wonder, maybe they've got something prepared to deal with it, but you got to take into account the hands diff as well.
So what PSG has been falling prey to is going for very slow compositions, not packing enough engage, and then just getting ran over by teams with stronger mid games. We actually saw this versus Jewish Team, and yes, you didn't hear that wrong, against Jewish Team, and also DCG at the same time. So I think Sem9 are setting up a trap. They're leaving their mid lane picks for later. They're probably going to come in with very strong tempo champions. I'm thinking Ari, things like the Lissandra, things like even like the LeBlanc might be on the table, some Lazar flavored champions here, and just trying to get those resets and roll over PSG.
All right, well, let's see if the prediction comes through here. Silas being hovered for Shietudu right now, has played it a couple of times already. Found moderate levels of success. That's the lock. All righty.
It does give them a lot of potential to find picks. Not exactly a tempo champion. I would not label Silas as particularly strong in the early game. Much more about scaling. But you can see the direction that Sem9 are going for. I feel like this is a lot of dive potential. It's about reset. It's about burst. And they probably need a couple more engage picks just to round out their entire champion pool, which I would expect coming in from the bot side. You can see PSG already know that. They're going to ban away the Nautilus. Most likely the Leona to follow. That would be the standard ban, but I'm not sure if they're going to throw that against Caspiel because I don't think he plays the standard champions either.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing. It's kind of hard to tell. I like the Poppy ban away by Sem9 though. That they're trying to like deny that because it's a really easy counter to like this type of like hard reset, like dive in composition. The Trundle also banned away. So whatever they've got planned with this comp, I am curious. You know what No Name's gonna do, what Caspiel's gonna do.
So far, No Name's been really strong in lane. I've been impressed by him. But the problem is he typically doesn't find engages very easily. We saw that in yesterday's game as well. Still has a little bit of that coordination issue you see with most rookies. So I wonder if Sem9 really want to throw him something that is just, you know, full on engage and go forward. I think something like a Sejuani would actually be perfectly okay in this situation. But whoa, here comes the flavor.
All right, Caspiel, he just says, okay, you're not going to let me have a dredge line, I'll just take a hook. We've seen Blitzcrank at least once already, but I love this. It just says, all right, bring it. Anybody who steps out of line, you're going down. I'm not diving, you're coming to me.
I love this because this is such a fun Yuumi counter. You thought that getting hooked one person was bad enough. Well, now you're going to get you're going to face a 5v3 afterwards. So very interesting concept to play this one. I knew they needed some form of engage. I did not expect the Blitzcrank.
No, I did not either. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. We'll see what the final pickup for PSG Talon is in the jungle for Furry. We've seen a lot of the engage cycled through as well. The Jarvan making a comeback would be an interesting one. Get the little Thunderdome pit. They're going to swap this out. It's not as exciting. I think PSG are like smelling some kind of trap here. But we do see that Gwen blind. Last thing to be answered is, what is No Name's counter pick?
I will say a couple things to look at this composition is that PSG don't have a stable front line. Anyone that gets hooked is going down. They're just going to die instantly. They don't have any tank really to play with. And this is kind of how DCG beat them as well.
Okay.
They just forced them into a situation where DCG rushed objectives, PSG couldn't follow, or every time they did try to follow, they were instantly punished. And DCG just snowballed. So Sem9, they're coming in with there's reset strategy, there's a bit of scaling, but most of all, there's Caspiel and his engage.
Yeah, and Caspiel has been good. Blitzcrank, you have to be very, very solid to try and nail those hooks. Well, we've seen his Nautilus play. I think we can definitely tick that box. And, you know, I love that Sem9 found a way to include what I think a lot of us say are the two best players, Arashi and Caspiel. Last split, we were like, oh no, they've got their two best players in the same role. What are they going to do? Well, they just role swap one, and Caspiel has played really well. He was in the bot lane, but still played supports, and this does make a lot of sense. I think the big challenge for Sem9 is going to be trying to go toe-to-toe with our best team in the league, which is never easy, but they're going to have to do it if they want to stack another win on the board and prevent PSG from locking playoffs here in Week 4.
I could see a lot of potential in this draft. I feel like the level ones are going to be interesting. The level one from PSG is actually incredibly weak. So Sem9 can get a level one side swap, a vertical jungle going, whichever side they want to go. If you look at this composition, you're coming in with Rocket Grab, you're coming in with Chain Lash to slow people down, Oscanda Duck if you want to, and most likely Counter Strike. This is probably one of the strongest level ones you could possibly draft. And if Sem9 uses this correctly, it could shut down one side of the lane. It's just a matter of which lane they want to shut down.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll have to see if they can do it. I feel like this is a very telegraphed strategy for level 1, but we'll see if it still pays dividends. All the same, you know, you don't need to obscure everything. Sometimes just the threat is enough to get you a little bit of an advantage. But onto the rift we go here. Sem9 looking to do not the impossible, but very much the improbable and get a win over PSG Talon. One thing we didn't talk about as much with the Blitzcrank showing up here is this Jax for No Name. I think it gives them some solid scaling, not to mention a pretty constant side lane threat. Like, in the late game, I actually kind of like what Sem9 are bringing.
Yeah, for the most part, we have been seeing Jax been able to win over their lane, and I all think we remember Taco Jax that just absolutely bludgeoned Hanabi and Gori in the side lane. So we have to say this has been successful before.
So Sem9 clearly doing their homework. Will this iteration work out? Not going to find a level 1 play anywhere, but that's okay. Just do what you can. I Blitzcrank for Caspiel. Oh, that's the most annoying skin.
Yeah, the hook is the hardest one to spot. You can't really see the hand as it goes out. I feel like it's a little bit less obvious than the other skins. But in terms of the laning phase, it's very difficult to win a lane with the Blitzcrank there. I think this is a lane where you have to expect Unified and Kaiwing to be shoving in a little bit earlier on. Though the hook threat definitely is going to be there. And as a Yuumi, if you get hooked, it's a 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah, just yoink the cat. I kind of feel like Sem9 can just use this to their advantage. They don't actually have to go for the hook. They can just threaten it constantly. And it's just going to be on Caspiel to find the right moment, find the opener. And starting out, you know, Asin getting a good start in that bot lane. We'll check in everywhere else on the map, too. No Name versus Hanabi. Hanabi is no stranger to playing weak side top. You know, kind of was his modus operandi for a number of splits. We just started to see in spring him kind of dominating, carrying over his Worlds performance for a change. But, yeah, here we go. Counter Strike in, finds the Gwen. Wash, rinse, repeat.
Really good trading so far coming in from No Name. And to note a little bit about the runes down here, we do have bone plating coming in from Hanabi. And for No Name, he's actually going with the second wind here. So overall, No Name set up a little bit stronger in very extended trades, coming in with a lethal tempo, and the second wind coming in with a little bit more sustain. And you should expect Hanabi to be just a little bit stronger when it comes to these short poking situations.
Yeah, No Name does have to back away. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Gori stepping a little bit farther forward, runs straight into Arashi. Has to burn his flash. Hey, you call that a win.
Yeah, that was a really nice abduct by Shiedudu. He actually holds onto the ability, walks over the minion wave, and then cancels the E from Gori, forcing an instant flash. So that will give a lot of roaming potential for Sem9 early on.
Oh yeah, opens up a little bit more of the map here. Ashin and Caspiel gonna go ahead and misses the zap. Can't get them all, I suppose, but they do manage to secure themselves that Scuttle Crab. Arashi spotted on his jungle path. Gori down bottom now. So, Ajin on the rotation. Takes a bit of poke. Not so safe.
PSG actually playing this bottom lane pretty safe. They're waiting until Buri actually comes into rotation before pushing the wave in. And this is just a small trick I really like from Buri right here. All of you junglers out there, just try to do this a little bit more. He walks past the scuttle and then backs. Just giving that impression that he could still be around.
Yeah, it's a very power move. It's like, hey, look, I could be there. You don't know. You need more wards.
It's definitely not a high probability event, but it's possible.
Yeah, it's non-zero, and I think Unified and Kaiwi know enough to respect it. Nonim getting a good trade on Hanabi here. He's got Ignite if he wanted to just wade the all-in, but meanwhile, down bottom, Ashin taken super low. I don't know what happened off the back of that one, but now you're going to be calling Buri back, and there's the hook. It goes wide. Means the threat's a little bit low here. Buri with the red buff coming back in. Ajin gonna lifesteal off, heal some of these minions up, or heal off some of these minions, but there's no mana there for the Jinx. They're just gonna push the wave and back.
Yeah, I don't think they were gonna be chasing down onto that one. The top lane trade was very interesting coming in. That was actually neither side had I think No Name might have had an extra back over Hanabi. Just went at him with the double Doran items to assert his dominance there and get the push in.
Shiedudu is taking a little low here. I think he might be trying to bait for Arashi. You can see as he's going for the wraparound. No wards to spot him. Will Gori fall for it again? He does play towards the vision side, and even Caspiel's here. Yeah, Gori, I think his game senses were tingling.
You could see the pings coming down from PSG, so they had very accurate timers on where they were going to be. But Sem9 are going to start on that first Drake, and Buri is not on this side of the river, so it should just go over towards Sem9.
Yeah, happens in vision just before the ward expires, so PSG do have the information on this. And Sem9, though, getting the start on the Dragon. That's a nice start for this squad. Again, we've been talking this team up, not for nothing. They have significantly improved. They've tinkered with the roster in terms of where they're placing their pieces, and they are certainly finding success. This will be a tough task to get the win here today. Make no mistake. But Sem9 have definitely stepped up and look better than a team that their ranking suggests.
My line always is, if Resurgence can do it, so can Sem9. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but hey, we trust in the LS team.
Hey man, it could be a stretchy team comp. I mean, we've seen Silas with some really long range absconds and abducts, so yeah, I'm willing to buy into it. Caspiel on the roam, looking for Gori. It kind of feels like they're really trying to put PSG's new mid laner on the back foot, and I think I like that strategy. Still no flash here.
And we actually see an interesting build here from Shiedudu, actually going alongside with the scaling here, going for the tier. Not your usual Everfrost and Zanya's kind of 2-item power spike build, but looking at the later phases of the game, which I feel like Sem9 actually have a very good shot in the late game, because once you get into the late game, it's one pick by Blitzcrank into a major objective. That's usually the late game tempo goes. So I like that Sem9 are not putting all of their chips into the early game sort of tempo basket that they usually go for.
Yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, if they're able to survive long enough, like they have the Jax timer to work with, they have a 3-item Jinx that can be quite a threat, and then yeah, playing the Silas with the later game build, it puts the onus on PSG to make the plays. But Buri is around. Looks like we may be in for a 3v2 play. Ajin actually caught a little far forward, throws out the Chomper's gonna get dodged around. Buri gonna look to dodge, forcing the flash out, and they will get away, but that's a summoner burn for free.
Yeah, and now they know where the jungler is, so Hanabi being put in kind of an uncomfortable position. Arashi coming back in.
Oh no, he doesn't quite land, and that's going to be the first blood given over to Unified. Caspiel will be next here. That's going to be at least 2 kills. At the end, a fire round double kill, and Unified's accelerated in this game.
That was a very opportunistic find. His bot lane was down summoners, and he goes in to completely whiff the stun. So I'm just not really sure about that play. That seemed very, very optimistic.
Yeah, I think that was... Optimistic is one way to put it. And I don't have a better word at the moment. Arashi just whiffing it, just an oopsie. So the Zeri gets 2 kills, and that's a scenario. We talked about how Sem9 looking to play for the late game. They just made it a lot harder for themselves.
Meanwhile, on the top side, No Name has been consistently chunking out Hanabi. He forces him to go back without a teleport. This could be a very good opportunity for them to find some purchase on the Heralds here.
Yeah, that's going to be it. PSG, though, they're the ones that get them to the punch a lot faster. Bringing all 4 members. They have the advantage right now, but Arashi not keen to let this go away. Jidodo and Caspiel, they have the hook. They want to try to take the play on this one, but I think PSG ready for the turn. They fight, and the Shurima shuffle comes in. Ashin taken out. Arashi already dropped. Hanabi was the one who gets the credit for that. Jidodo has nowhere to go. PSG, they clean up 3 kills, and the Herald themselves. Meanwhile, looking for Caspiel as well. Unified just moving forward, and the Blitzcrank is chunked out of this one. So PSG opening up the floodgates, Clement.
What did we say about giving Gori a Zir? You just never do it. That's always a no.
Just don't. That's the answer. What a shuffle. Man, it looked like they were just on the edge of getting out, but absolutely not. So Bury repays the aggression he faced early on in kind. First brick goes way to PSG, and all of a sudden, the gold goes from fairly close to, well, I'm just going to count it up right now, about 3,800. Here's the fight again.
Yeah, we're going to watch this one. It's mainly about Sem9 trying to hug the ramp. It gives Gori way too easy of a target. The flashes aren't there for the backline. They don't even get an auto attack off after dying to the final chapter right here. Jidodo has to commit here, trying to save the team fight. Even trying to go after the Herald, despite that wasn't his Herald to take, but he wanted to try.
Yeah. Oh well. There's the gold game so far. PSG opening up a big opportunity. No Name, he's really hoping for that late game now. He has been the shining spot, I think, so far in this game, just because of the misplays that have happened across the map. 5 kills unanswered by PSG Talon Unified. Definitely feeling himself on the Zeri now. A double kill down bot certainly opened up opportunities.
Yeah, and this type of a first item spike is so difficult to fight. You're playing without mythics, and you're going up against Stain first item mythics. Bury with the Gore Drinker playing super aggressive because he knows.
Yeah, and he knows it. He knows it. He had backup. He's good. Another shuffle
boy.
back as soon as it was off cooldown, it seems. Caspiel and Ashin going down. It's dinner and dessert for PSG as they grab themselves a Drake to go with that double kill.
That was beautiful. I've got nothing to say. I think Gori's going to be MVP this split. Actually, I'm sure of it. I'm not even sure who's even close.
He's playing like this, he will. Yeah.
Yep.
Can't give him the Azir. Like, they gave away so much in this draft, and like that was the worry. There was a good 8 minutes, 7 minutes maybe, where like Sem9 looking really good. All of a sudden, this game's starting to get out of hand. Yes, they've got late game, but the way it's going, they may not make it there.
Yeah, and that kill and assist was a huge boon to Navi as well. You can see that he is having a really rough time in lane. I really like what No Name did. He got a cheater recall on, delayed the TP timer to when he actually had an advantage in terms of itemization, and he just pummeled Hanabi with it. This is textbook Jax play. Love to see it being done here by No Name, one of our premier rookie players here. But unfortunately, I just don't see him having any shot against someone like Unify, who's currently at 4-0-3 right now. Oh.
Yeah, gets the Immortal Shield bow pretty quickly. Facing down Ajin, of course, from role swapping player. Even a role swapped onto the team. You know, he's the coach going back to Berjaya Dragons even. As Hanabi stops No Name's back. That's huge right now. Caught the timer.
That's a flash.
Oh, man, he just guessed at that one, I think. Just needs to land the needlework. Does just get it. Not quite enough to get the kill. All right. Well, No Name getting out by the skin of his teeth. Meanwhile, Unified and Kaiwing chasing down an isolated Ajin. Well, this is only going to go one way. I don't think we need to watch it.
This is pretty brutal.
Oh, another kill to Unified. All right. Well, he's doing quite well. That's a 5-kill Zeri at 13 minutes. Gori, will you go down in this one? Arashi doesn't find the opener he was looking for. Spectral Maul doesn't land. Has to flash away. 1v2. Ooh, if that's not a metaphor for this game.
Can we just call it the Gori shuffle? Like, I don't even think Shurima is that important anymore.
Gori is the Emperor of Shurima, that's for sure. What a good pickup. I mean, like, PSG, just, like, this was a great scout. I think the jury is still out on Buri, like, because we just haven't seen that much from him. But we talked about his caretaker role in the past. It's fine. Like, he is everywhere he needs to be. He's doing the job. I do worry if that's the only thing he can do. But for Gori, oh, man. This guy's a monster on his ear.
I truly believe that PSG management has cracked the code of the PCS. All you need to do is basically smash all of your budget onto a mid laner, make sure your mid laner is the best one in the entire league, and he will deliver you to Worlds. That is literally the strategy.
So
I
far,
think they've had parodies in other roles, for sure, like Rest, or you could say YSKM, or even Top King was pretty close to Hanabi. But if you look at mid lane, they've had no match whatsoever.
Hanabi is going to get jumped on here by no-name Arashi and Caspiel come to the party, but so are Buri and Kaiwing in the 3v3 PSG feeling themselves, and that teleport's coming in maybe a little bit too late to be matched. Arashi goes down here, the rocket goes wide in the midst of an absolutely chaotic fight, but it's PSG that are finding the opener. Shiadodo looking for something, gets a kill back, he does, but meanwhile Unified just chases down Ashin. It's a 1-for-4 across the map, a double kill for the Yuumi even.
I guess we call that a win, boys. We've got late game, so let's look forward to something.
Well, 15 minutes. Late game is still a ways away as tower will fall. That makes it a round 3 as the map is wide open for PSG's take. And I think we're well on our way to seeing our first playoff lock in the split at the end of week 4.
Did take PSG a little bit longer than usual, but does seem like they will be getting there. Let's see how Ashin fared against Unified, who was 5-0-3 at this point. And the answer is he did not fare well whatsoever.
Screw your flame chompers. Man, Zeri is a terrifying champion. This is, I just want to point out the item difference at this point, based on the kills alone. That is a 2-item, 2 pieces advantage. That is a Mortal Shield Bow and a Phantom Dancer. Ashin is having a rough game as an AD carry.
Caspiel found a
gets
win,
the moral victory, though. There you go. He can hit a hook on a Krug.
Exactly. Robots are still better than humans. We eagerly await the day of our master overminds here.
I, for one, welcome our new robot overlords.
That's a lie. Thank you for clearing that up.
Nah, don't worry.
I just
don't watch way too much TV. Hanabi, oh boy. Oop, dodge, dick, dup, dive, something. Nah, he's out. Okay, he's cool.
He didn't even use the miss.
Gwen didn't even need to be immune, and it was all a bait. Ashin's caught. Teleport out for the Jax. Yeah, this is the panic moment. You know, I think they're gonna catch him on the other side of the map. No name says, see you guys later. I'm going back to base. Caspiel zooming it out, will make his escape. Dragon's on the rift as well, though. PSG can do exactly whatever they want this game.
I like the fact that Sem9 are trying. We have seen them. This is the second time where they just throw everything into one of these side lanes and say, you know, at the very least, we need to ruin Hanabi's day. That is our true goal of the game. And all times Hanabi has been able to, well, not the last time. They got the kill on Hanabi the last time. They sent their message loud and clear.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing, right? Like, we've seen so many teams that are in this situation. They just let themselves lose the game by not making the big play because they are behind. They let that get to their heads. They lose. It's a guaranteed lose. 100% lose rate if you don't want to try and win the game before. I love the Sem9 are undeterred. They're not giving up. Like, this is a bad situation. This is rough. It's 14 kills to 1. You're up against, nameplate-wise, you know, the best team in the league at the moment. But you're still trying. And you gotta give him that credit there. But Caspiel's going down. Man, they overloaded the circuits on that one. Gori does get yoinked by Shiadodo. Looking for the chase down. It's a level disadvantage, and they are going to bring the Jinx Rocket. Oh, he shovels himself right on over in the Blast Cone, and that will be shut down gold. Nice 1-2 punch, but Ashin's still going to get away from it. I don't think he will. Unified get revenge.
He lasted 4 auto attacks. 4 Qs, excuse me.
Yeah, Zeri doesn't have auto attack. She's one of those newfangled champions.
Yep. You're absolutely right in that one. That was actually a pretty decent find here for Sem9. They are down 10,000 gold, But I will say yesterday, we actually saw a comeback from 10,000 Go. EDG versus RNG. Okay,
It could
Ashin,
happen.
your laughter as a coach does not fill me with confidence. I know you're having fun, but that laugh was
It's been happy gaming.
Tough.
I will say this was a swag play. Like they knew what they were doing here. It was really good. Like Shidodo, he knows he's got a little backup coming. The rocket is perfect. And yeah, they just line it up. It goes, I mean, it's important to get shutdown gold. They don't want to give Gori a good game.
Ashin played that so well. You know, he hits the rocket right before the Emperor's Divide, and then the zap out of the Zanias was really good as well. So, yeah, at least someone got to show off.
Yeah, I'll take it. Hey, look, they doubled their kills. That's all I'm saying. It's also a reset on the Medjais.
Just wondering if Sem9 could have gone for something a little bit different in the mid lane. I felt like they needed something stronger to get the resets off.
Oh, it's 2 for 1 though. The final chapter's there. They don't have enough damage to finish it. No. PSG, they realize the opening and they take down Caspiel and Arashi. Now looking for Ashin, gonna drop off the back of it. No Name's gonna try to heal up, but I think this game, could this be our fastest game of the split, Clem? And I think it's like at 20 minutes, 21 minutes. We're not quite there yet. Harold's
like
charging in
340 or 22 something.
Oh yeah,
it's definitely going to be one of the fastest.
This is definitely the record. We might get a dancing Shelly.
Oh boy, yeah, it really might happen right here.
Let's go.
Let's see if someone can stop it.
Don't let her do it. Oh, she's still alive.
Oh, they got buried.
230 hit points. Gotta let this happen. No, Name, how could you? How could you?
Shelly has a family.
Oh man. Wait, is she related to Baron? Is that why she lives in his house?
I'm pretty sure she's a void creature.
Okay. Well, are all void creatures family?
They've got that purple DNA, so I think so.
I'm willing to go with you on this journey. It's like a Zerg thing, right? You know, they're all related, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Belveth is, man, if she kills Baron, like that's messed up, man. All right, that was a backstop that Shidodo just pulled off on Hanabi. Was this a solo kill? No. Well, yes, it was. The other way. Okay.
Yep. Hanabi got the buffs and the tower shot to go down. Really nice dancing. Wow, that distance control was quite impressive for Hanabi. He walks back just on the edge for the extra tower shot there. Beautiful stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, Hanabi is a player that just he knows the ins and outs of just about everything, right? Like I think such a experienced player, you know, is a veteran at a young age. I think it's worth talking about, and he's gone through several iterations of not just this roster, but you know, also going back to Flash Wolves days and everything. And I feel like he's unflappable. Like even when he's struggling, Hanabi's a player that just like he always shows up.
PSG chasing after history right here. There are no Nexus towers. This is the last stand for Sem9. Oh, they've got Gori.
Oh, they do catch him, but will it be enough? I don't think they have the damage. They're really trying, but that's going to be the shuffle. And I think Sem9 are going to fold with that. They will all drop, but No Name. Unify looking to pad a few more stats, but the game ends 21 minutes and 40 seconds.
I gotta say, this felt like a warm-up game for Gori. Most of his catches on the Azir, he didn't even have to burn flash for them. It was just straight line shuffle. You know, you Q, E, mid-air, and then you throw the R out. Just beautiful stuff from Gori. I feel like most teams are not used to playing with such a decisive initiator and such a skilled opponent here. I can't count the amount of times people are just caught off guard by Gori Azir. I feel like it's probably better for just all teams. You just click that ban button.
Yeah, and I think they should have banned the Zeri too for good measure. But I do believe that is the fastest game of the split, about a minute faster than our previous record setter, which I think was a Sem9 versus Newish team, in fact. So here we go. PSG continuing to smash records, I guess, and they also smashed their way to a playoff berth. First team to do it here in the PCS Summer 2022. 10 wins. They are officially into the playoffs. Congratulations.
They're now out of range of Sem9 and both Newish team, which means that they're guaranteed top 8. That would send them into the playoffs. Now, taking a look at this draft, I think Sem9 had an idea. It was, we're going to go give over these sort of scaling power picks, but we are going to take back strong reset options instead. I think their mistake here was not actually taking something a little bit faster in the mid lane. I would have preferred something like the Ari that could roam a little bit faster. They did get a good lead against Gori in the early game, but I don't think it was enough of a lead. They couldn't translate that lead into the other lanes itself. All in all, I feel like Sem9 still played a great laning phase. However, their objective fights were just kind of lackadaisical against PSG. PSG just caught them with their pants down, instant 2-3 man engages, and they weren't close at all. You know, PSG, despite the laning phase deficit, actually ended up going 8-0 by the time mid game rolled around.
Yeah, I think it was just like, it's one of those things where you make a couple of mistakes against a team of the caliber of PSG talent, and you just get punished so hard. The first mistake was letting these through draft. The second mistake was that double kill down bottom that got unified right on the board and basically completely negated any landing advantage. Up until that point, it was actually looking pretty good for Sem9. They had a good strategy. They were harassing, keeping Gori on the back foot. They had a winning top lane for No Name, and they had late game scaling. But it just kind of got thrown in the bin in favor of a couple of chance plays that just got so swiftly sniffed out and punished. We did get to see Buri finding some plays, I think, when it was already a decent lead there for the bottom side for PSG. But he, kudos to him. We've talked about how his role has been a little more passive. He set up some good engages when he was tracking the enemy jungler, and I think that's worth shouting out here in that early game for PSG talent.
Absolutely. I feel like Buri did a really good job at just making sure that the vertical jungle didn't come through. I think his biggest threat that game was the potential for a bot lane snowball. You just get one hook landed, it goes into a gank, and then it's all Summoner's Burn, and you can kind of rinse, repeat that one with Silas also moving down. So Buri did a really good job at making sure his bot lane was completely safe. And once he got that Gore Drinker, you could tell he just went crazy. Like, he's like, well, these guys don't have mythics. I'm a jungler. I'm a Xin Zhao with Gore Drinker, innate sustain. I also have a Zumi that's right next to me. So I'm just going to go on whoever I see. And that was exactly the right call.
Yeah, that was solid. I think PSG got a lot of what they wanted out of the draft. They played incredibly well. And Sem9, after the early game fumbles, they just could never find a foot back in this one. And, it was always going to be lopsided. This is our first place team versus our last place team. And there it was, a mountain of gold in PSG's favor by the end of it.
Yeah, still a really rough one here. I will say, though, that I think Sem9 in their laning phase has gone so much better. In the past seasons, you would not have thought about a 10th place team being able to hold even with the top place team in terms of the just the laning phase, like the pre-10s and stuff. So
absolutely.
This is the real difference here. We aren't seeing these lane stomps anymore. The average gold difference from our best to worst team, the delta is only 3,000.
And how about this? Buri gets the MVP award on his Xin Zhao performance. Alrighty.
I gotta say, I feel like they were just tired of giving it to Gori. No, Buri had a good game.
This is like Michael Jordan. Like, okay, yes, we know you're gonna just like carry the game and dunk on everybody. We gotta give it to one of your teammates, okay?
Yeah, we're gonna give it to Steve Kerr or Pippen just this one time. Everyone's gonna forget about it.
But catching the references. All I gotta do is drop Chicago Bulls for you, right? Okay. I love it, Clement.
I still feel like Gori was the MVP. No flame
he
towards
had
Gori, but
so many highlight
I think the most critical plays were his.
He did. I think one or two mistakes maybe, right? Like I think he did get caught out, like that play in the jungle. It was also just really good play. But overall, PSG, they just conquered. Well, we're 4 games in. We got 1 left on the docket. It's Frankie Sports versus J Team. Don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss that coming up next.